Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're looking at something quite significant. It's about Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17 nearly 11 years ago now, and specifically a recent ruling from the UN's Aviation Council.
That's right. The International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, they've made a finding about Russia's responsibility.
Exactly. We're basing this on a news report detailing these findings. Our aim really is to unpack what the council found, refresh our memory on the event itself, and sort of figure out what this ruling actually means.
It's definitely a key moment in a very long process for the victims and their families. ICAO sets the standards for international air travel, so their word carries weight.
Okay, let's maybe step back quickly. Remind ourselves about the event. July 17th, 2014.
MH17, a Boeing 777, flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur.
And it was flying high, right? About 33,000 feet.
Correct. Over eastern Ukraine, near a village called Hrabov. And crucially, this was during really intense fighting on the ground.
Between who, again?
Pro-Russian separatists and Ukrainian forces. It was a very dangerous area at the time.
And the plane was shot down, allegedly by a Russian surface-to-air missile.
That's the allegation upheld by various investigations and now, seemingly, by the ICAO Council.
The human cost was just awful. Everyone on board.
All 298 people,
Yeah.
passengers and crew, gone.
And the nationalities involved really tell a story, too.
They do. A huge number of Dutch citizens, 196, then 38 Australians, 10 from the UK, also Belgians, Malaysians.
Yeah.
A truly international tragedy.
Okay, so fast forward to this week. This ICAO Council ruling on Monday. What did they actually conclude?
Well, the key finding is that they ruled Russia failed to uphold its obligations under international air law.
Failed to uphold its obligation.
Yes, and they explicitly agreed with the claims brought by Australia and the Netherlands, essentially saying the evidence points to Russia being responsible for the downing.
They used some strong language, I read.
They deemed the accusations well-founded in fact and in law, which is, quite direct in diplomatic terms.
And what comes next from the ICAO side?
They've said they will now consider reparations. Though, it's really important to state, Russia continues to deny any responsibility at all.
No surprise there. What's the reaction been like from, say, the Netherlands and Australia?
Understandably strong. The Dutch Foreign Minister, Casper Veldkamp, called it an important step toward establishing the truth and achieving justice. He said it sends a clear message.
A message about violating international law.
Exactly. And both the Netherlands and Australia are now pushing the Council to actually order Russia to start negotiating reparations.
And Australia's foreign minister, Penny Wong.
She was very direct. Demanded Russia finally face up to its responsibility and make reparations. You can feel the frustration after all this time.
This isn't the only legal process that's happened, though, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
You might remember back in 2022, a Dutch court held a criminal trial.
Ah, yes, they convicted some individuals.
They did. 2 Russian men and a Ukrainian man were convicted of murder and absentia, sentenced to life.
But Moscow's reaction?
Called it scandalous, refused to extradite. So those individuals aren't serving time. And it's key to differentiate that was criminal liability for individuals. This ICAO ruling is about state responsibility under international air law. Different things.
Understood. The sheer cost of dealing with the aftermath must have been massive, too.
Huge. Just the Dutch government alone, we're talking over 158 million spent. That covers repatriation, the investigation itself, the prosecution efforts. It's an enormous undertaking.
And investigations are still ongoing, trying to trace responsibility even higher up.
Well, in 2023, the joint investigation team, that's the Netherlands, Australia, Ukraine, Malaysia, Belgium, they reported finding strong indications.
Indications of what?
That President Putin himself might have approved the supply of the missile system that was used, though they stated the evidence wasn't conclusive enough for new prosecutions at that time.
So, wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems to be the UN Aviation Council has now officially pointed the finger at Russia for the downing of MH17.
Yes, a very significant finding in terms of international accountability, even with Russia's denial.
It really marks a point in this long, painful journey towards justice.
Absolutely. And it prompts a really interesting question, especially when you think about the complexities of international law. So, for you listening, considering this ruling, how is state accountability actually achieved for something this catastrophic?
Yeah.
What are the real practical steps towards getting meaningful reparations for those families, especially after almost 11 years?
Something definitely worth thinking about. That's all we have time for on this deep dive.